We asked our viewers to tell us which board games they've actually been playing. Old favourites, the newest hotness. You may be surprised. I know I was. We're counting down the games our viewers are playing up next in this month's People's Choice Top 10. Hello, I'm Matthew, and joining me to count down the 10 games our viewers are playing this month is Paula.
Hello. I'm Paula.
You don't say!
I'm not filming from my home, as seems to be the pattern these days for People's Choice when I'm here. I'm in a hotel room. I tried to hide the fact that this is a hotel room, but I am in Canada right now.
Our mission to get one step closer to Rodney is afoot.
It's afoot. Now, am I on the exact opposite side of the country from Rodney? Yes.
But you're much closer to Chaz.
I am significantly closer to Chaz right now, yes. And that's how we get to Rodney.
Yes, we hold Chaz to ransom unless Rodney quits. That's the deal, right?
That's right. But in the meantime, while we try and make this plan come to fruition, I guess we can distract everyone by talking about board games.
Absolutely. And if we don't do it, Chaz and Rodney will be very upset with us.
That's worse than holding him for ransom, I think, is just not actually talking about any of the board games from this list voted on by our patrons.
Of the games being played by our viewers this past month, the one that received the 10th most votes and notes is Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea, which allows 1 to 5 legendary leaders to conquer the great civilizations of the ancient Mediterranean in a single night, and without having to roll a single die, or build great wonders to glorify a peaceful, thriving commercial empire. Sure, if you must, but don't forget the sacking cities and conquering new lands as you spread your domain across the waters and around the shores of the Inner Sea, because that's also an open option which is available to everybody. Have you ever played this game?
No.
It's the thought that counts.
I've not even heard of this game.
Oh, really? Okay. I did research. And I know.
You did the research. I went, I don't know.
It's like, cool, you're a good paid. I don't know what to say.
Viewer Richard A. recently played this game with the full complement of 5 players. So chaotic, so much take that. But I got to reproduce the 7 plagues of Egypt and the Trojan horse all in one game. My Trojan opponent didn't see that horse coming. What chaotic fun. Okay, that does sound, that sounds pretty good, and this sounds like a game that I should actually learn something about.
If I had to pick a plague of Egypt, I'd pick frogs. That's always been my standing opinion on that. Although, is that the same plague? Doesn't matter. And I think that this game would be really, really good to play with the Watch It Play team. One of us wouldn't be able to take part.
If all goes according to plan, there'll only be 5 of us.
It's a card-driven game, and a lot of it kind of plays like a war game version of Magic the Gathering sometimes.
You've got me with War Game Magic the Gathering. Yeah, let's put this on the list of games that we all need to play together.
That's a long list of games that we're definitely going to play.
I don't know why you put that in quotes.
I think you do. Thank you.
And now, a word from one of our sponsors who helped make this episode possible.
The Disney Plus story arc for the Versus System 2-player card game from Upper Deck. The first series in this series, which kicks off the Disney Plus arc, includes characters from WandaVision, including Wanda Maximoff herself and Vision, who find themselves in an alternate reality with a loving family and no memory of the Infinity War. The second set in the Disney Plus story arc brings the Falcon and Winter Soldier into the fray. Sam takes on the Captain America mantle and then teams up with the villain, Baron Zemo, to fight all new threats. So follow the link in this video's description to find these first 2 expansions for the Disney Plus story arc now at your friendly local game store and at upperdeckstore.com. And then look forward to Loki's arrival in the Versus System 2-player card game this December, where the venerable villain and a variety of variants time travel their way into the game as well.
They say that history repeats itself. At least that's what I've heard over and over again. Good joke, Chaz. Well done. That was I enjoyed that when I read that. In the historical recreation, Watergate, one player assumes the role of a journalist from the Washington Post, not a sponsor, while the other embodies the administration of Richard Nixon, who is a sponsor.
No.
Thank you.
Also not a sponsor, just to be clear. Also not a sponsor.
To win, the Nixon administration must build up enough momentum to make it to the end of the presidential term, whereas the journalists must gather enough evidence to connect two informants directly to the president. It's a crafty two-player experience full of twists and turns.
It's one of those games where no matter what role you're playing, while you're playing it, you feel like the other role is overpowered. You're like, oh my gosh, you have so many cool things you can do. And then literally the other person is going, oh my gosh, you have so many cool things you can do. And I love games that feel like that.
You know who else loves this? The person who's you're going to read out now. Viewer Timothy W, I believe.
Oh yeah, you're right. The tug-of-war mechanism really works well for this theme. I've had fun playing both sides and look forward to the day when I finally win as the investigative journalist. The investigative journalist. Just to translate that for Matthew.
Thank you.
Good thing this game is not a total mirror reflection of actual history. Yeah, you can change history though. In this game, history doesn't repeat itself. You can change it.
That's the magic of the medium.
That's the power of gaming.
You can't escape our next game. Exit the game. Advent calendar, the hunt for the golden book.
You can't escape. Scary.
Published by Cosmos in the year of our Lord 2022 AD, this is an exit game and a 24-part Advent story. All in one to find the golden book. You must open a little calendar door every day, and behind each you will find a new exciting puzzle, the solution of which will help you move on to the next room. Only if you follow the clues and solve the 24 puzzles where you find the thief and the book. And save Christmas. Yes, that's right. The entire Christmas season is at stake. Welcome to the big leagues, buddy boy.
Don't worry, viewer Scott A is on the case playing this game and having this to say about it. I tried to explain the concept of an advent calendar to my wife, but no, she had to solve them all. And now it's the first week of December and I need to buy another advent calendar. Wonder if the Die Hard one is still available. I love that.
That's like me and real advent calendars and the chocolate inside. I'm going to eat everything in the whole advent calendar. That's in the first day. Hold on. This is my advent calendar. This is not a prop.
Seriously?
There is no chocolate in this at all. Every door has been opened.
Matthew, Scott, you and I can hang out and we will do this the right way. We're going to open one door, one day, until we get to December 25th. And we'll have the satisfaction of knowing we played it correctly.
Or not. And enjoy it all at once. I know that's what I did when I played the last Exit Advent Calendar and had a great time doing it. So I'm all for these. Ring, ring! Ring, ring! That's adventure calling. Will you answer adventure's call by calling on our next game, Adventure? Call to Adventure Epic Origins. In this hero crafting card game, 1 to 4 adventurous adventurers compete to earn the highest destiny score while cooperating to defeat their adversary. The adversary. Chaz, you've had a great time. This is a great script. Like the original Call to Adventure Epic Origins, it's a tableau building game where players draft cards, cast runes, and overcome challenges to score victory points. But the game isn't just about points, because Call to Adventure encourages storytelling at the end of the game. Epic Origins also includes a guide for converting your final tableau into a 5th edition D&D character, so you can continue telling stories with even more adventures.
Before we get to the quote, I want to say I think Chaz gets a real perverse joy out of writing very strange things for us to have to say. I say forget trying to oust Rodney. Maybe we hold Chaz hostage just for the sake of holding Chaz hostage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Just to say stop. Stop with adventurous adventurers in the making an adventure adventure.
I think that's why he was doing it. Why are you making us read these quotes?
So viewer Timothy W is back again with more quotes for us to read about games.
Thank you for donating to the Patreon.
Thank you for being a patron. I love the storytelling and choose your own adventures aspects to Call to Adventure so much. Not only does Epic Origins provide more content for the base game, but it can also be played as its own standalone game either in basic mode or in campaign mode against powerful, mysterious adversaries. The new fantasy race cards are a welcome addition to the character building as well. I managed to get the Elementals promo card from my local game store. That sounds cool.
I love this game, and I shouldn't. It's not normally the kind of thing I would jump at, but I have played Call to Adventure a couple times, and I really, really enjoy it. There's something so cool about the tactile tickety of the runes that you throw.
Yeah.
And I think the thing I like about this game so much is that it's a continual journey of me pushing my luck too far and ultimately losing. But what if I win? What happens when you win? I don't know.
You don't know. It's never happened to you before. Usually just like a feeling of accomplishment and joy.
Huh. I'm unfamiliar with that in its entirety, the whole concept.
So something I think is really great about this game is it's such a perfect Omni game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like an Ameritrash game disguised as a Euro, but a Euro game disguised as an Ameritrash game. Do you know what I mean? Because it's got so much narrative. It's such a perfect blend of all the things, which is why maybe it's the perfect game for you and me to be playing together.
It is one of those special games, and also they spent an incredible amount of money on artwork. It looks really good. The countdown continues with Endless Winter, a Euro-style game that combines worker placement and deck building in, dare I say it, an innovative way. I dare. Each round, players
Hold
send
on.
their...
I translated a word for you. Can you translate this word for me?
Which word?
Innovative?
Did I say innovative? Each round, players send their tribe members to various action spaces and pay for the actions by playing cards and spending resources. Tribe cards grant additional labour, while culture cards provide a variety of unique effects. As an alternative, cards can be saved for an end-of-round eclipse phase, where they are simultaneously revealed to determine the new player order and trigger various bonus actions. After 4 brisk rounds, I get it, scores are tallied and the tribe with the most points wins.
Viewer Drew A, who I just saw at PAX Unplugged.
I don't believe that they exist.
Well, now I'm paranoid. I'm just going to read this quote anyway. Drew compliments the game's lush components, some of the best artwork by the Miko, and a clever combination of deck building, card play, worker placement, and territory control make for a lovely time.
And Jamie H adds beautiful artwork and graphic design combined with fun, compelling gameplay. What is there not to love?
What indeed?
This is a big old game with a bunch of expansions, and I think it just kind of got to backers recently, which I imagine is why it's on our list right now.
Yeah. Fighting for the next spot on our list is Maki. Take it away, Matthew. That's all I can do. A solitaire worker placement game. A solitaire worker placement game where variable goals that plays in about 20 minutes. In the game, agents of the Resistance travel around the board, it's the town, to achieve goals such as publishing underground newspapers or blowing up trains, giving them stories to cover in their underground newspapers, no doubt. But at the same time, milice collaborators and Wehrmacht soldiers patrol the area. Agents who can't make it back to the safe house at the end of the day are arrested and never seen again. So players will need to watch out, but never stop resisting. I cannot hear about a resistance group called the Maquis without obviously thinking about Star Trek.
Yeah. Do you know what? I would play literally any game that was Star Trek Marquee themed. It doesn't matter, because Stephen Waffles admits that Rodney made me buy this game, and I don't regret it. Not consistently having a game night, good solo games are a must, and this is not only good, it's great. Also, it's not only a physical game, you can also get a digital version of the game, which is also very good.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really cool game that I think you would love.
I have been really enjoying solo gaming lately. Watch my solo series on this channel, Table for One. And I'm now very interested in checking this one out, especially because there's a digital version. Maybe this could make it on stream sometime. Ooh.
As long as there have been convertible cars, mankind has yearned to control the weather. Yeah. And now's your chance. In this month's next viewer selection, Weather Machine, where 2 to 4 scientists, eager to drive with the top down, with the wind in their hair, tamper with local weather, adjusting rainfall for farms, maintaining wind and clear skies for ecological energy sources, and tweaking the temperature for resorts and starting events. But yeah, its use of the Weather Machine also alters the condition elsewhere on the planet, and now the players must correct their meteorological missteps before they continue. Temperature tampering makes the planet unlivable and dooms us all.
See, this is another depending on how you win the board game, is going to affect our real world.
Yeah. I just like the idea that this is something it's like we should just kill all the mosquitoes, and then you think, well, now there's too many frogs. You know, that type of thing.
Wait, what do mosquitoes have to do?
Because the mosquitoes eat the frogs, so there's not enough frogs, and then there's not enough...
Mosquitoes don't eat frogs.
The other way round, do you know what I mean? Don't be like that.
So several viewers commented on Weather Machine this month, including Sean and Heather, who collectively confess... Vital Lacerda design, Ian O'Toole artwork, and a David Surtsey solo mode. What else can you ask for in a big heavy Euro game? Cool metal gears? Okay, it has those too.
This is the type of game... Well, I know that Monique and Naveen love this.
Well, they're Lacerda heads.
Yeah.
That's the technical term.
And Jamie H, who says, Vital Lacerda and Ian O'Toole make this game a sure thing. It's a thing of beauty that plays amazingly.
And JN, who declares that the king of crunchy games does it again.
Next up is Spire's End Hildegard, a standalone card game adventure set in the world of Spire's End that boasts almost no setup time, intuitive rules, and minimal components. There's no DM, no bookkeeping or character sheets, but what players do have is a stack of over 400 beautifully designed cards.
And a set of custom dice. I love custom dice.
Yeah. Like the previous games in the Spire's End series, the story unfolds one card at a time, presenting players with numerous narrative-driven choices, enemies, and items that move the story along.
Do you think this made it on the list this time because Rodney just streamed it on our Twitch channel?
Could be. He's into this type of thing.
And now it's like put it on a bunch of people's radars and now they're talking about it. That's the power of Rodney.
Viewer Rob R was among those who climbed the spire this month, calling it a nice adventure game for those game moments when you are on your own with time to kill. A whole lot of dice rolling in this, and also a whole lot of fun.
And Stephen Waffles adds, from the turn of the first card, I was hooked. The story is engaging and you will be agonizing over almost every decision. Will this progress the story or will I reach one of the many bad endings? The artwork only adds to the experience. Okay, I'm convinced by Stephen Waffles here. It sounds like reading like those classic choose your own adventure games where you pick something and you flip to the page and it's like, you end up gored by the unicorn. And you're like, oh, and so then you go back and you try and like pick a different option.
That's very much the idea of the game, and the cool thing is with the system is that every card that you need to find is further along in the deck, so you don't have to go back into the deck to sort through the cards that are already there. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, our viewers and Rodney have convinced me. It's the power of Rod and the people.
Fresh off the presses is My Little Everdell, introducing the world of Everdell to little fans who join Chip, Sweep, and the other kind-hearted critter kids to build the most spectacular make-believe city anyone has ever imagined. This version of Everdell is designed to be an easy-to-learn worker placement and tableau building game that gets its players' brains a-buzzing. And building on the buzz is viewer Carman Chan, who asks, with so many babies around me growing, I have to ask, is it too early to play board games with them when they can't walk yet?
Matthew, I think you would answer no, because you've been buying board games for your niece since she was like literally her first breaths were taken.
At this point, I consider my niece an enabler. It's like an investment for us in 16 years.
And in the meantime, I'll just play it. I'll play it just to keep it,
Keep the game fresh in my mind.
Definitely. And Drew A. also gave us a quote for this choice, and they question, a more family-friendly, shorter version of Everdell with more Andrew Bosley art? What's not to love? Indeed, what's not to love? It's the power of love.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were going to say the power of Rod again, and I was like, I don't think it is. I don't think it makes any sense.
Well, that's what I subverted your expectation.
Yeah, now it's double good fun. Double good fun.
Double good.
And this month's most mentioned game by our viewers is Wayfarers of the South Tigris, which is set during the height of the Abbasid Caliphate circa 1820 AD. As brave explorers, cartographers and astronomers, players set off from Baghdad to map the surrounding lands, waterways and heavens above. Players must carefully manage their caravan of workers and equipment while reporting back regularly to journal their findings at the House of Wisdom. Will you succeed in impressing the Caliph or lose your way and succumb to the wilderness?
I'm guessing I'm gonna lose my way and succumb to the wilderness. Just like knowing my own personal constitution and everything, I'm pretty sure I succumb to wilderness.
Absolutely, 100%. Dysentery for Paula. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Viewer Drew A has been enjoying this game, calling it crunchy and clever. There's so much happening in the game, it takes a lot to learn, but the game rewards your investment with such great gameplay. The cool twist of worker and dice placement gives you such great combos as the game goes on. Love it.
And Stephen Waffles, who does make me hungry every time I read their name, chimes in. Another great game from Shem Phillips and S.J. McDonald with beautiful artwork by the Miko. A clever twist on worker placement with meeples and dice and interconnected tableau building that will have you agonizing over every decision.
And viewer JN succinctly says this game is another great game from Garfield. Do you know who else thinks this is a great game?
Nick and Mike Murphy?
They certainly do. Nick was saying that this is his favourite Garfield game, and he likes a lot of those games.
Yeah, that's speaking pretty highly if this one is his favorite, yeah.
This one really, really interests me. There's this track to go down, but you're getting these cards, and it looks really nice, and I don't like learning rules, but one more time, eh? Why not go for it? One more go.
One more time, just one more rule book. Problem is, this is the rule book you die while reading, because that's how that works.
And that's a mere sampling of what our viewers have been playing this month. To join the discussion for the next episode, follow the link in this description to our Patreon to find out how to pick the games featured in the People's Choice and to see our games on our own personal radars continue on to this month's On the Radar episode. Thank you, Paula, so much for being here.
Yep, The power of Rod.
Thanks for watching, everyone.